Have you ever found yourself lying awake at night, wondering if you're becoming a burden to the people you love? It's a quiet fear that many of us carry as the years go by. What if, one day, our children or friends feel overwhelmed by our needs? In this video, I want to share 7 pieces of wisdom that have helped me, at 82, live a life where I don't feel like a burden to anyone. These aren't unattainable ideas, but simple, powerful choices that can bring peace to you and those around you. From maintaining strength in both body and mind, to nurturing relationships that support rather than strain, each of these insights can help you feel more confident and free. Stay tuned until the end, because what you'll discover could change the way you think about aging forever. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I highly recommend you do so and turn on the bell notification so you never miss any of our videos. Your support helps us continue creating content that informs and inspires. Let's dive in. Number 1, daily physical activity. One of the most important things I've done to avoid becoming a burden is staying physically active every single day. This doesn't mean running marathons or lifting heavy weights. It's about making movement a natural, non-negotiable part of your life. Whether it's walking around the neighborhood, tending to a small garden, or doing simple stretches at home, every bit of motion adds up to strength and stability. When you stay active, you maintain muscle tone, joint flexibility, and balance, all of which help prevent falls or injuries that might leave you dependent on others for care. You don't have to be fast or strong. What truly matters is consistency and the quiet pride that comes with knowing you're taking care of yourself. People often underestimate how much physical activity contributes to independence. I remember meeting a man named George, who was 78. He told me that he started walking just 15 minutes a day after his doctor encouraged him to do so. Within months, his stamina improved, his mood lifted, and he felt steadier on his feet. His family noticed the change, not just in his health, but in his spirit. He no longer needed help getting up from a chair or climbing the stairs outside his house. There's something deeply reassuring, both for ourselves and those who care about us, when we show that we're doing our part to stay strong. Effort speaks volumes. It says, "I'm not giving up on myself, and you don't have to worry about me so much." That kind of unspoken message is a gift. It eases the minds of loved ones and gives you a greater sense of peace. Number 2, careful financial management. Another key piece of wisdom that's kept me from being a burden is learning how to manage my finances carefully and with foresight. It's not about having great wealth, but about making thoughtful choices that protect your dignity and the well-being of those around you. I've always believed that living within your means and setting aside something for unexpected situations is one of the kindest things you can do for both yourself and your family. Over time, small habits like avoiding unnecessary expenses, keeping track of bills, and planning for medical costs or home repairs can make a big difference. There's a deep comfort that comes from knowing you won't need to ask others for help simply because you overlooked something or let your spending get out of hand. I think of someone I knew named Harold, who was 85. He always said that peace of mind starts with a well-balanced checkbook. Harold wasn't wealthy, but he kept his life simple and his spending steady. Because of that, his children never had to worry about sudden emergencies or surprise debts. Instead, they could just enjoy time with him, knowing he had things under control. When we take the time to manage what we have wisely, it sends a quiet but powerful message. I respect myself, and I respect you. That, more than anything, helps lighten the invisible load our loved ones might otherwise feel. If you're still with me and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. If you haven't subscribed yet, I highly recommend you do so, and turn on the bell to ensure you don't miss any of our videos. Your support helps us continue creating great content to inform and inspire. Let's move forward. Asking for help early, and honestly, one of the wisest lessons I've learned is that asking for help before small problems become big ones is not a weakness, it's a strength. When you speak up early, you allow your friends and family to support you in manageable ways, rather than having them step in during a crisis that could have been avoided. There's nothing wrong with saying, "I could use a hand with this," whether it's with lifting something heavy, understanding confusing paperwork, or even getting a second opinion on a health matter. People want to help. What wears them down is when they're called in too late, after the problem has grown too big and urgent. I remember a woman I once knew named Margaret, who was 81. She told me how, for years, she tried to do everything herself, thinking that was the only way to stay independent. But over time, she realized that by letting people help with small tasks, like changing a light bulb or carrying groceries, she actually gave them peace of mind because they knew she was safe. And in doing so, she prevented those small tasks from becoming larger hazards. The truth is, asking for help early keeps you safer and gives your loved ones a sense of trust and reassurance. It shows them that you're wise enough to protect yourself before danger arrives. That in itself is a gift, and one of the simplest ways to make sure you never feel like a burden. Staying on top of your health. A choice that has served me well over the years is making my health a priority, not just when something feels wrong, but all the time. I've learned that regular checkups, routine tests, and listening carefully to what my body is telling me are some of the best ways to stay strong and avoid becoming a concern for the people I care about. By catching small issues early, I've spared my family the stress and heartache that can come when problems go unnoticed until they become serious. There's a quiet strength in being proactive about your health. It shows loved ones that you value yourself, and you value their peace of mind too. I remember my neighbor Paul, who was 79 when he started having minor dizzy spells. Instead of ignoring them, he went straight to his doctor, who found that it was something easily managed with a small change in his medication. That simple visit kept him steady on his feet and independent in his daily life. What we sometimes think of as small check-ins or minimal efforts can actually be the very things that prevent us from needing heavy care later on. And there's a comfort in knowing you're doing your part, not just for yourself, but for everyone who loves you. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights helpful, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you do so, and turn on the bell to make sure you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating great content to inform and inspire. Now, let's move forward. Number 5, keeping a simple, manageable living space. One of the most practical steps I took to avoid becoming a burden on my family was to keep my home simple and easy to maintain. As the years went by, I realized that holding on to too much, whether it was furniture, knickknacks, or unnecessary household items, only made daily life harder and riskier. A cluttered space invites falls, confusion, and extra work for both yourself and anyone who might be helping you. By choosing to downsize and only keep the things I truly need and love, I've created a home that supports my independence instead of hindering it. It's incredible how much lighter life feels when you no longer have to worry about dusting around 100 little objects or navigating through a maze of things that no longer serve a purpose. I think of my friend Ellen, who was 83 when she decided to downsize. Her large, overstuffed house had started to overwhelm her, so she moved to a smaller, more manageable space. The new place was easier to clean, easier to move around in, and easier for her children to visit without feeling like they had to pitch in on chores every time they came. The relief in her voice when she talked about how free she felt was unforgettable. A manageable space is a gift you give yourself, but it's also a quiet way of telling those around you, I've got this covered, you don't need to worry. And that alone lifts a weight off everyone's shoulders. Number 6. Nurturing friendships and community ties. One of the most powerful ways I've kept from becoming a burden is by ensuring that I'm part of a community that supports and uplifts me. As we age, it's easy for our world to become smaller, and we can end up leaning too much on just 1 or 2 people, often family, for all our emotional, social, and practical needs. By staying connected to friends, neighbors, or groups that share my interests, I've built a safety net that helps me stay balanced and supported without putting too much on any one person. These friendships and connections mean there's always someone to share a meal with, someone to call when I need a ride to an appointment, or just someone to talk to when I'm feeling a little lonely. I think of my old friend Frank, who was 80 when he joined a local walking group after his wife passed away. That simple decision not only kept him active, but also surrounded him with good people who were happy to look out for him and whom he could look out for in return. When you invest in community ties, you give yourself the gift of companionship, and you give your family the gift of knowing that you're not alone or isolated. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights helpful, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you do so and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating valuable content to inform and inspire you. If you're still with us, please consider subscribing and turning on the bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Your support enables us to keep producing valuable content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward with number 7. Letting go of unnecessary control. One of the most significant yet subtle changes I've made in my life is learning to release control over things that no longer serve me. As we get older, it's natural to want to hold on tightly to our routines, our belongings, and the way things have always been done. However, I've discovered that the more I tried to control every detail, the more tension it created with the people who care about me. By loosening my grip and trusting others from time to time, I allowed space for peace and understanding. This doesn't mean giving up on what truly matters to you. It means recognizing the difference between what's essential and what's just a habit. I think about my cousin Walter, who was 84. He used to insist on managing every little task around the house, even when his hands weren't as steady as they once were. But when he finally allowed his grandson to help with small repairs, something beautiful happened. Their bond deepened, and Walter felt less burdened by tasks he no longer enjoyed. Letting go of control, when it's wise to do so, requires great strength. It tells those around you that you trust them and that you value harmony more than having everything done your way. This, more than almost anything else, prevents you from becoming a source of stress for those you love. Final thoughts. As we wrap up, take a quiet moment to reflect on the 7 pieces of wisdom we've explored together. Which one stood out to you the most? Which one do you see in yourself or feel inspired to embrace moving forward? Living without becoming a burden isn't about perfection. It's about the small, thoughtful choices we make each day. Choices that help us preserve our independence, nurture our relationships, and live with grace and confidence. I hope these insights have encouraged you and provided practical ideas you can apply to your own life. Remember, every step you take to care for yourself is also a gift to those who care about you. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so please don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments motivates and encourages us. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us keep creating content that informs and inspires. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.